Okay, so to sum up yesterday's stuff, they were just adding and subtracting these things. This one is a trinomial. It's got a constant of 6, a coefficient of 4, a lead coefficient of a 1 that you couldn't even see, and its degree was 3. You guys get that? That stuff makes sense so far? Okay, then what if I had to take all of this and times it by something? I'm putting it in parentheses. And I'm timesing it by, well, let's keep it simple. Let's just times it by 2. Now, don't actually do it. Just tell me, wouldn't you just times everything by 2? Yeah. You just 2 times this, 2 times the other thing, and it would just, spread out like this. And you get 3 answers, and you'd put them all together as your final answer. Okay. But what if you had an x plus 2? Then you just do the same thing, and this x would get multiplied by all 3 things. That makes 3 of the blues, 3 for the reds, and that's a total of 6. You got 6 things at the end. All right, now this one got kind of messy, so I'm going to make a new one, and I'm going to make it a little simpler. I would like you to multiply these 2 polynomials. And if I were you, I would either pick the x or pick the 3 and multiply all 3 parts out. And then I do the other one. Okay, go ahead, multiply those out, add them all up, and see what you get. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to try to compare your answer with the kid next to you. And you are going to have to go diagonal. Let's see. A lot of diagonals in that first row. Either straight across from you or a little diagonal there. Okay. I'm going to have you compare kids behind you. A little triangle there. Actually, if you guys can long distance compare, that would make it pretty slick. Okay. You guys compare long distance. You two that are next to each other over there, just compare. And you two compare. All right. Multiply this all out. Just do the x's. And then when you're done, just do the 3. And then you'll have 6 things. Put it all together and you'll get a final answer. I'll pause for a minute while you guys give this a try. It's called multiplying polynomials. You do multiply that x and that x squared. What did you get?
I got x squared to the second.
Kind of, but you put them together, you say x to the 3rd. Okay, so this x and this x squared made x to the 3rd. And then this x times the 4x. 4x squared. This x times the 2. 2x. Those are the first 3. Now, everybody multiply the 3 by everything. Put them all together, because there's lots of like terms. And get a final answer and compare with the kid next to you. Pausing. Squared. What did you get when you did the 3 times the x squared?
I got 3x.
Yeah, 3x. Well, this is squared here, so 3x squared. Okay. And then the 3x times the 4?
12x squared.
Yep, not squared. Because this doesn't have an x on it, this 3 does not have an x, then it's just 3 times the 4 makes 12x. Just x, not x squared. If they had been 2 x's, then we're timesing each other, you would have said x squared. All right, so the last one is just a 3 times just a 2, and what'd you get for that?
6.
Yep, because there was no x. All right, so now I can put together like terms. You should have got x to the 3rd plus 7x squared plus 2 is 14x plus 6. There it is. Now, would we call that a trinomial? No. When it goes over tri, do you remember the word we use for it? Yes. Polynomial. And its degree is 3. So it's a 3rd degree polynomial. What's its constant? Say it if you know it. 6. And these 2 guys are called what's? Coefficients. And there's a 1 in the front, and there we go. This is a pretty easy day, isn't it? You just multiplying things out. Now, I get some people are good at this and some people are not as good, but everybody in here should be able to do this. Every single person. Would you just to make sure that everybody gets distributing properly, but I'm going to throw in one thing. It's a negative 7x. And that negative right there makes it easy to mess up. All right. Because, see, some people are not sure whether to make it squared or not. So I just want you to just check this answer. Just this simple little answer. Multiply this out and check with the kid next to you. Make sure they get distributing and whether or not things are squared or not. Pausing while you try that.
Squared minus 29x.
Nice. Now imagine for a moment, you might think, oh, changing the problem, I gotta totally change my answer. Nope. What if I put a 4 minus 7x instead? Well, would I have to redo the blue stuff? No. Nope. I would just have to now multiply the 4 in. It's just distributing twice. That's all it is. You distribute the 4. We already distributed the negative 7x. And then put stuff all together and give me your final answer for this one. We already got half of it done. I need to get a count of how many people can do this. And if we're up to like almost everybody, then we're probably done. So I'd like you to check in a moment when you're confident with your neighbor, and we'll see how many of you guys all have the same answer. Pause for a second while you try that.
Negative 3x squared.
Okay, so that was the 3. So where did that come from? I'm trying to get...
Negative 7x and plus 4x.
I got that. Was there another x squared in here? I don't think there was. Because I think this 4 times the x was just a plain 4x.
Well, 7x squared.
It is. So here, let me do this 4 here. 4 times the x makes plus 4x.
Yeah.
But you can't put those two together. So wait, let me finish. Okay, and then the 4 times the 3 makes 12, and then there's a 12. I'm trying to figure out where you got that answer, because I got...
Negative 7x squared.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something different than that.
Oh yeah, and the next one's plus 4.
Okay. And shouldn't these guys go together, though? Because, yeah, they are both alike terms. So then let's put those together. There we go. So negative 7x squared minus 17x. Finish it. Just the 12.
Plus 12.
Plus 12. That's it. There it is. If this had been a test question, how many of you would have had it right? All right. So this is just about being careful. One last one, and then we're done. X squared plus 4x minus 7 times x plus 2. Now this one, you might choose to do 3 separate things. Multiply the 7 in, multiply the 4x in, multiply the x squared in, or you can kind of go backwards and do it like this. But in the end, everything gets multiplied by everything. Like everything in here gets multiplied by everything in here is what I mean. Okay, multiply that all the way out and let's get a final answer, and then we will check and see what percentage of you have got this right. Here's the last one. Here's how I'd do it. X times the x squared makes x to the 3rd. I'm going to change colors a lot. X times the 4x makes plus 4x squared. Why is it squared this time and it was to the 3rd last time? Because this time it was a 1 and a 1. And you basically, when you multiply like this, you're adding the powers. Okay, now I'm going to take this 4 times this negative 7. Sorry, the x times the negative 7 makes negative 7x. Then I'm going to switch to green, and I'm going to do this 2. 2 times the x squared is plus 2x squared. And I'm strategically lining these up next to each other because I know I'm going to have to eventually. Do you get how that's smart to just put them by each other? Okay, now I'm going to do the 2 times this 4x makes 8x, and I'm going to put that strategically by the 7x because then it'll be easier to add them together. And last but not least, 7 and the 2, and that makes negative 14. All right. So I put this all together. X to the third didn't have any pals to be combined with. Neither does the 14, so they're both just come straight down. But then this part makes plus x. And this part makes plus 6x squared. When you're adding, you just keep the powers the same. There's your final answer. Who had it right? Count hands. That is almost everybody. So then I'm going to say, I feel like you understand this. That's all there is for today. It's pretty easy. So go ahead and give this a shot. Your homework has 7 questions. Please open it immediately. And if you want to come up and talk to me, you can. That's all I got for you for today.